There are endless business opportunities in the agricultural sector. Let us guide you to unlock all of these opportunities at our first Agribusiness Investment Forum on April 21, 2022, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Zoom. Be there, join us. Remember now, endless opportunities are awaiting you. One love.
Investment in agriculture is very important for food security. To that extent, the Agro-Invest Corporation is having a forum on April 21 online and at the Jamaica Pegasus, broadcast from nationwide, that's Cliffviews, at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Lots of things to learn. We have information on how to access export opportunities, agro-processing, financing, land availability.
Join us on April 21, 2022 at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the first staging of our Agribusiness Investment Forum, where several agricultural investment stakeholders will be brought together in one virtual space. Register now at www.agroinvest.gov.jm or visit our social media pages at Agro-Invest.ja to secure your spot.
Good.
Endless
It is now 5 minutes to 10 o'clock. Not too bad. Good morning to you all. My name is Ann Jeffrey, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. It is so good that we begin with a word of prayer to our divine creator. And then right after that, we're going to be doing our national anthem. So I'm going to ask you to stand as I whisper a word of prayer. Our divine creator, our heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, giving you thanks, giving you praise. We're asking you to cover us and to ensure that today's event goes well. We're asking you to open the minds and the hearts of the presenters. We're asking you to open the ears of those persons who are listening via the World Wide Web, and also those persons who are here with us today. We ask you for your protection. We ask you for divine wisdom to enhance growth. In your name's sake we pray. Amen. Remain standing for the national anthem. May be seated. Thank you so much. And we will start with the opening and welcome remarks by Dr. Al Powell, CEO of Agro-Investment Corporation. Dr. Powell.
Thank you, Moderator and Jeffrey. I think today is a very good day for all of us. It's good because of what we're going to talk about for the rest of the day and what we can command and implement. I address the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr. I'm expecting State Minister, Honorable Franklin Witter, British High Commissioner, I'm expecting her, Ambassador Marcelino de Castro, the Brazilian High Commissioner, Ambassador to Jamaica, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Dermot Spence, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Agro-Invest Corporation, Mr. Ian Murray, guest presenters, and I speak about the President of Jampo Promotions Corporation, Mr. Ian Edwards, the Marketing Director of Associated Manufacturers Limited, everyone knows it as Walker's Wood, Sean Barbot, Director of the Center of Entrepreneurship, Thinking and Practice at the University of the West Indies Mona campus, Dr. Knife, Chief Plant Quarantine Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Neil Wilson Graham, Manager Investor Relations, Development Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Paul Chin, Regional Lead for Advisor Services in Latin America and the Caribbean, International Finance Corporation, IFC, Mr. Fisher, who will speak online, Deputy Group Business Development Manager, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Mr. Michael Johnson, General Manager, Sugarcane of Jamaica, Mr. Vivian Brown, Executive Director, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Ms. Kamisha Blake, Guardian Life Group Assistant Vice President, Employee Benefit Fields, Ms. Nadine Pottinger, Farmer Investor at the Amity Hall Agro Park, Mr. Kadrick Ferguson, Farmer Investor at the Planting Garden River Agro Park, Ms. Charmin Blair Stewart, Farmer Investor, Ms. Katisha Allen, Prime Minister's Youth Award in Agriculture. And I hail the sponsors, Isratech, H&L Agro, JN Bank, Exim Bank, Newport Forsan, DBJ, Jamaica Stock Exchange, JMEA, Guardian Group, Walker's Wood, and FAO. The hardworking team of Agro-Invest, I salute them, because without them, this function could not be on. The media practitioners, other participants, especially those in diaspora, or investors joining on Zoom and Cliffhouse Live and nationwide. I'm advised that up to yesterday evening, we had 800 people who have registered for this, this forum, and that is indeed great. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Need to hear it because of today being such a good day. It's just mine to welcome all of you to the Agro-Invest Corporation Initial Agribusiness Investment Forum. This forum is organized with the aim of bringing agribusiness stakeholders together and promoting the many investment opportunities in the agribusiness sector. We also aim to connect farmers, investors, to input suppliers, and source of people who provide capital for investment in agriculture, and those who want to invest along the value chain. We firmly believe that a boost in agricultural investment will enhance our food security, and I'm happy to share with you that our activities at the Agro-Invest are aligned with food security. As an agency of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, we promote and facilitate large-scale investment in agriculture. We do this by ensuring that we write business plans, we select lands, we provide the connection with farmers and investors and with the various entities that can provide help. We want to collaborate with, we want to continue. I want to make the point that we have written over 300 business plans. We have helped organize the export function by connecting producers with exporters. We have put over 2,000 acres of land in the last 2 years into production. And in financial year 22-23, we're looking at putting another 2,000 acres into production. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr., Permanent Secretary, Mr. Dermot Spence, our Board Chairman, Mr. Ian Murray, for continuously supporting our activities, and to our sponsors for believing with us that agriculture is the future. For the help we have gotten from Jamaica's Social Investment Fund, National Irrigation Commission, the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, Caribbean Development Bank, the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Partner Fund through the British High Commission, the help from Inter-American Caribbean Bank that gave birth to the AgroPark program. Today, the forum offers an opportunity to connect with import suppliers like Isratech, Import First and H&L, agro-financial institutions such as DBJ, JN Bank, Exim Bank, agro-processors such as Walker's Wood and Grace Kennedy. We can also talk with Jamaica Stock Exchange. Let them tell you how to raise capital on the stock market for your business. Jump on Plant Quarantine are here to tell you how to get the product exported and ready and available. Agro-Invest will continue to play our part by facilitating the business assets through matching one-on-one dialogue, collating, reviewing, and disseminating a set of bankable projects that would interest investors, promoting regional-wide network for expanding production and distribution, in agribusiness entrepreneurs wishing to network with potential investors to collaborate on opportunities in the agri-sector, connecting regional and international agency officials involved in financing agricultural projects with local agri-investors, helping to scale your business as we have been doing, and working with you to take your produce from farm to fork. And finally, get your interest today from all the speakers' presentation and find out who is ready to move on to the next step. We're also going to help you to drive market connection and linkages and continue to pique your interest from all the presentation today. The room registration I mentioned is about 800. We have your email addresses, telephone numbers, and we certainly will be using it to find out who are the persons who want to continue to promote agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, as Minister Pearnel Jr. and I recognize, and we heard it this week, agriculture is serious business. Agriculture is big business. As we all know, it's crucial to the growth and development of Jamaica, land we love. In the last few months, maybe, there's no other topic being spoken about as much as agriculture. And we have to move from talk to walk. And Agro-Invest is certainly going to lead in that. In closing, I want to encourage all our participants to embrace the information shared today and to use it to evaluate the opportunities presented to guide us towards greater success in your agribusiness. As a wise person once said, once you're in life, you need a doctor, lawyer, policeman, and a preacher. But every day, 3 times a day, you need a farmer. I leave this thought with you as I say thank you. And the $500 million investment we have had in agriculture for the last 2 years, we need to double that. And that is what we're going to aim at, whether through fisheries, through agriculture, practical agriculture, agribusiness. That's what we want to do. I thank you for attending and participating and wish for you all the very best in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Powell. And now we are asking Mr. Darren Spence, JP Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, to take the podium.
Let me just say, my name is Orville. I'm being asked to fill in for the Permanent Secretary. I'm the Chief Technical Director in the Ministry of Agriculture. Miss Andrea, Moderator, the Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr., Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Franklin Witter, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, who I know is on his way here, Her Excellency De Castro, Ambassador of Brazil to Jamaica, Councillor De Silva Bardil, Dr. Al Powell, Chief Executive Officer, Agro-Investment Corporation, Mr. Ian Murray, Chairman of the AIC, Ms. Dan Edwards, President of the Jamaica Promotion Corporation, JAMPRO, Mrs. Sanil Wilson Graham, Chief Plant Quarantine Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Vivian Brown, General Manager of SCJ, Mr. Sean Garbott, Marketing Director of Associated Manufacturers, better known as Walker's Wood, Dr. Knife, Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship Thinking and Practice at our UA Mona campus, Mr. Paul Chin, Manager, Investor Relations, Development Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Fisher, Regional Lead for Advisory Services in Latin America and the Caribbean, the International Finance Corporation, Mr. Michael Johnson, Deputy Group Business Development Manager, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Ms. Kamisha Blake, Executive Director, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Ms. Nadine Pottinger, Assistant VP, Employee Benefit Field Garden Group, sponsors, farmers, investors, members of the media, other specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yes, indeed. It's a pleasure to be present at this very first hybrid business investment forum executed by the AIC and to bring you greetings from the Minister of Agriculture on behalf of our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Dermot Spence, who is unavoidable absent. The theme for this forum, investment in agriculture, driving food security, it's fitting. The concept of food security and building up our mechanism to support a robust and resilient one has been amplified in part by what we are experiencing now in Europe, pushing between the North and the South, which is being played out in Ukraine. Let me just add that pre-pandemic, the global FAO statistics shows that 600 million persons per night is hunger. Since the pandemic, it moved up to 800 million persons per night. We can just imagine now compounded with what is happening in Europe, what it feels like. I'm sure it will be released shortly. The key lesson here is that a country must focus on being self-sufficient when it comes on to producing food. Our food systems is important, and it is even more important in these challenging times. If we are to effectively achieve food security, investment in agribusiness is a must. It is important. The sector spans not just production, it also includes the business chain, value added, processing, distribution of our products from agriculture. It is therefore important that a forum such as this be held to spotlight the investment opportunities and possibilities that exist in the Jamaican landscape. And so this forum is indeed extremely important. I use this opportunity to also commend the Agro-Investment Corporation and the team led by Dr. Powell on the significant work that he has been doing throughout the years to ensure that a large-scale agricultural investment are nurtured and facilitated in the best way possible. As a key agency of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, the AIC has been contributing to the viability and sustainability of the agricultural sector by mobilizing finance, promoting investments, and providing market intelligence, among other support services to our farming heroes. The ministry is pleased to note the remarkable stride AIC has made in this sector, and we are positive that this agribusiness forum will attract many new investors and renew the interest of those who are presently engaged in this critical sector to the human survival agriculture. Over the past 13 years since the establishment of the AIC, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has worked very closely with the team in terms of policy and budgetary support, and more recently, the Commissioning of Agro-Investment Corporation Amendment Act 2021. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has helped the AIC in getting new organizational structure in place designed to drive the expectation of the new act. Furthermore, the ministry has assisted with the acquisition of new agricultural lands for expansion in its programs to increase productivity within the agri-parks and production zones. One of the AIC's most recent achievements is the launch of the Mango Agri-Park, which is supported by the Ministry of Agriculture in the tune of $120 million. This includes the expansion of roads, irrigation infrastructure, and the establishment of a model 60-acre hut. This window will bring great rewards in boosting not only the cultivation of the fruit, but also in transforming the value-added opportunities along the production chain, especially as it relates to mangoes. In addition to the policy and organizational support provided to the AIC by the ministry, we will continue to provide the necessary support to access more lands for agriculture through working with the National Land Agency and the SCJ. Food security is and will always be a key part of the ministry's mandate. We support the need for increased investment in agriculture that will drive areas such as agro-processing, export expansion, input supplies, innovation, and entrepreneurship. The truth is, we cannot go wrong when we seek to collaborate and join resources to the benefit of agriculture, especially advancing food security. Ladies and gentlemen, it is undeniable that investment in agribusiness plays a significant role in boosting food production, food availability, food affordability, and the overall competitiveness of the agricultural sector. We have the resources, we have the talent, we have the land, and most of all, we have the game-changing ideas. They are here in this room, they are in ministry, they are in other government agencies. What is needed now to drive the sector forward at an even greater pace is the support in the form of solid investments. That is what Jamaica needs. Once again, commendation to the AIC team and the stellar work that they have been doing to boost agriculture production and investment. Thank you very much, and I look forward to a great forum and fruitful discussions.
And now we ask Mr. Ian Murray, Chairman of Agro-Investment Corporation.
Thank you, Anne. Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr., Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. I haven't seen as yet, but the Honorable Franklin Witter, Minister of State. There's a very long list, so I hope you forgive me. I will say, ladies and gentlemen, specially invited guests, good morning. A warm welcome from AIC. This seminar today, first for AIC, is not only timely given the food security issues being experienced worldwide. I think it was Winston Churchill who once said, never let a good crisis go to waste. And so for us at AIC, not just in sponsoring this seminar, but in the other activities, we are hopefully going to take advantage of what we consider to be a lot of new interest in agricultural investment. This seminar, importantly, signals a desire for AIC to become a major investment facilitator, not only by bringing key stakeholders together, as we have done here today, to share information and exchange ideas, but also hopefully to set the stage for future public-private partnerships. It is about profitable cooperation, and hopefully, in it all, unearthing competitive financing options for the sector, something which is sorely needed, something which agriculture investors complain about on a regular basis. Hopefully that will, I know some representatives from banks are here, hopefully we can get that discussion on the way. So we are indeed excited, not just about today, but about our future. In my closing my brief remarks on behalf of the board, which I lead, I would certainly like to congratulate the management for their efforts in putting on this event. It took a lot of work, and this would not have been possible, certainly would not have been possible, without the support of our sponsors. Thank you, and I hope you all have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murray. And now we have the keynote addressed by the Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr., MP and Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries.
Thank you so much. It looks like the chairman had a conversation with our chief technical director and decided to shorten your presentation for reconciling the lengthy 5-minute introduction. But I'm going to follow the pattern set by our chairman in acknowledging that long list of distinguished friends that are here. Permit me to just acknowledge our ambassador from Brazil who walked in, and just to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to us having this, our first of a series of investment forums that we're going to have. I think it is timely. It speaks to the understanding of the importance of investment in growing this sector, a sector that has contributed to the growth of our country, and a sector which Jampra will tell you, and I'm sure Dr. Knife will tell you when he speaks, a sector that will be the shoulder for Jamaica to stand on if we are going to, as we are going to have sustainable growth in our country. So we want to really applaud Dr. Powell, Ms. Alicia and the team from AIC, as well as my very own permanent secretary, Spence and our team at the ministry who have worked together to truly get this out here. Now, let me tell you, I've had the opportunity of serving as Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries now, I believe, a little over 3 months. And it so happens that I am serving at a time when we are facing significant challenges globally, where we are facing circumstances that are out of our control. And we choose at the AIC to see these challenges as an opportunity, to see them as compelling us to redefine our approach and truly to recognize the true impetus of what the AIC is here to do. The AIC is here to facilitate investments on a large scale in our country, to identify and to strengthen our competitive and comparative advantages, to see how we're going to utilize idle land and formulate partnerships and collaboration to truly drive this sector as a sector that can be seen as attractive to young people, attractive to our women, as a sector that will allow for us to have the investment extend our value chain. So when we're talking about cocoa or ginger or pepper, we're not just talking about what you're reaping out the ground, but we're talking about processing and providing diversification of the products that we're offering to the world. More money in our pocket, more money to reinvest, and more money for us to be able to expand now the revenue that our farmers, our agripreneurs, and all of the stakeholders, Dr. Powell, have and will receive in the agriculture and fisheries sector. I am expecting that this investment forum that will pull our current and potential investors to this space will see us discussing issues around export opportunities. I'm asked many times, so Minister, if I can get 500 bags of turmeric, how do I get it to America? Minister, I have an idea, but I need some money. How can I get financing to access the support that I need to make this idea a reality? Minister, you know, my brother and I were sitting down and we came up with this wonderful idea, but we don't know where to start. We have the money. Can you guide us? These are the questions that we want to answer. This is a framework that we want to facilitate. We want to dive into the reality of the several hundreds of acres that our rural women network wants us to tap into, so that we can say to Jamaica that there's no longer idle land. But if you see land that's not cultivated, it's because we choose for it to not be cultivated. We must put the assets that we have been given to good use. And particularly now, when everybody is talking about food security, we have the chance of addressing food security. And from the perspective of not just producing, because it is more than availability of food. It is access to affordable food. It is access to a particular nutritious type of food that we want our children to eat. And access to that affordable, nutritious food in a consistent way. All of those variables are what we consider, which is why AIC has 8 agro-parks, 9 agricultural production zones, and why in the last 2 years, we have moved from 2,786 acres under the management of AIC to 5,300 acres with more than 500 farmers. This is why I had the opportunity as a new minister to launch in February of this year our newest agricultural production zone in New Pen in St. Mary, where we are identifying farmers to help increase, particularly our Irish potato production. And let me tell you, when you talk about, for instance, onion production, last year we were able to increase to 40% production locally, and AIC accounted for 25% of that. The year before, we were at 21%, and AIC accounted for 16% of that. So you're talking about an organization that has been calculated in moving our local production in the right direction, addressing what we see as the need for us to reduce import substitution, and to move us towards maximizing local production and moving now into CARICOM and moving now into niche markets. Now, don't get me wrong. We are doing, but we have a lot more that we need to do. Because in that 5,300 acres, Dr. Powell will tell you that I have tackled him, and we are working together now. Never mind my harshness at times, because I want the best for the country. I want us to make sure that every acre of land and the management in this government is used in maximum way, unlocking the potential. We must connect the dots. So the cultivation must be connected in a sustainable way, introducing climate smart technology so that we understand the vulnerability to the climatic conditions, and we're connecting that to the irrigation, to the agro-processing, to the markets, and having that cycle. All of that must be on the basis of teaching our youngsters how to do what they can already see as their future. Farming, the future of Jamaica. But not just farming where you have straw hat and boots. Nothing wrong with that. But you want to encourage them to see it as you now being innovators, creators, bringing the technology, bringing the drone technology, bringing all of the computerization and use of digital and software, and let our youngsters from early childhood, 3-year-old, 4-year-old must be excited about it. Let's change the way we introduce agriculture to them. My son at 6 is given pictures to choose and to say, who's a doctor, who's an engineer, who's a farmer? And I always draw the farmer in the same way. I want to change that picture. I want to make our youngsters so excited about it. That's not just, and forgive me for using this phrase, this is what I hear all the time, sexy. Come on. Make it viable. But how sexy it is, it don't mean nothing to me. Make it viable. So that we can say that if you get into farming, you can feed yourself, you can feed your country, you can feed your community, you can feed your family. That's what we want. That's what Agro-Invest Corporation is building towards. And that is why we have scored investment of $120 million on our Holland agro-economic zone, where a factory is being constructed right now to expand agro-processing there. And I must tell you, there's a lot of potential there which we have to unlock. Dr. Paul, you know what I'm talking about. The Mango Agro Park. We have 810 acres that have been allocated to the development of the Mango Agro Park in Tollgate, Clarendon, the former sugarcane lands. We are managing the process, and we have attracted over 50 investors and placed already 14 of the 50. We have also spent $120 million developing the property, supporting irrigation, roads, and other infrastructure. And for this financial year, another $70 million has been allocated for further development. The investment in the Mango Agro Park amounted to over 270 million Jamaican dollars. And of course, as the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, I have been asked to be the chief taster of all the mangoes. So the Julian East Indian should come to me first. This is just scientific, just to make sure that it's good for export. And we're going to be looking to tap into the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Cayman, and other markets. Let me tell you something. We have a gold mine. Jamaica not only has the assets, not only have the people, we not only have the sun, the soil, and the water, but we have a brand name that is exceptional and somewhat cannot be properly explained. The love for our country and anything connected to our country is something which perhaps we're going to have to ask you and Dr. Knife to do some serious assessment of where it comes from, because it's more than music, it's more than culture, it's everywhere. But are we exploiting it positively? Are we unlocking the full potential of it? And these are the questions that the ministry must answer. That's why another big part of what we're doing, CTD Coal, Agro-Invest, is this mandatory inclusion, 20% of our land being available to vulnerable groups, being available to our youth, to our women in agriculture who have been exceptional and continue to grow. And we can say that we've added 40 youths to the agro parks and production zones for the last financial year. I think that's exemplary. As I close, Agro-Invest will continue to identify and must continue to identify joint venture partners through the packaging of products and actively securing equity partners, both locally and internationally. For us to do that, this discussion must expand to how our farmers, our fishers, our stakeholders will have equitable access to financing. There is something wrong with the concept of you having it easier to go to the bank and get a loan for a Benz than a tractor. Both depreciating assets, but different categories. We have to change how we are seeing this. And we have started those conversations with financial institutions. JAMPRO, where's Mr. Edwards? JAMPRO is pushing on it. I know we are working together with Minister Hill at the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. And this is a discussion around access to finance, extending the discussion around insurance for those who are in farming and in fishing and pension. Tripartite. Because again, remember what I'm saying as minister. Forget this thing about it being sexy. It must be viable. Because no matter how good it looks, you're not getting me involved in it if it don't make sense. And our young people want it to make sense for them. And so we want to extend through AIC the support and the sort of partnerships that we create, partnerships that will continue with the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO, in seeking to identify our local and international joint venture partners. It's critical for us to assist in injecting the capital, Mr. Sangster, that is needed, and also the incentives that are to be made available for us to foster external investment. I'm going to end there. There's much more that I will say, but I will invite you to listen to my sectoral presentation on May 10th. It's going to be filled with a lot of energy and vision. And I want to tell you this. We cannot fail the people of Jamaica. The time is now for agriculture to become the paramount, the priority. The time is now for us to pull our young people in, educate them, not just in terms of academically giving them qualifications, bachelors and masters. I'm talking about young people appreciating and understanding when he was young, when every child had to plant a tree. If you went to primary school in Jamaica, you had to plant a tree. I want us to get back there, where every one of our boys and girls understand at an early age, when they get out of university and become the investors or potential investors, when they move out of high school and become the potential agripreneurs, they would have already been fitted with the culture that this is viable. Thanks again to all who have contributed to this. I want to say a special thanks to our international partners, FAO and others who continue to assist us in terms of structure, financial support, and technical support. And I want to just encourage again all stakeholders to see Agro-Investment Corporation as a tool for you to visit so that you can be facilitated in making this deliberate, calculated, and positive investment in a sector that is ready to absorb and ready to grow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Charles Jr. He placed a smile on my face when he says that we ought to teach our children to plant something. Let me give you a little joke. I'm a girl from Manchester, and I remember back in the days I would walk around in my community and hang out with the elders in my community. And standing here today, I can tell you, I can even plant sweet potatoes. Yes, I know how to do it. Dig the yam hill too, because what happened is that the elders taught the youngsters. So it's not only what we say, minister, but our actions as elders to teach our youngsters.